Coming up,
It muddied it up a bit.
Probably muddy it beyond recognition.
Oh, for goodness sakes, you're so pedantic.
There was a time when the internet didn't exist.
What a very voiceovery conversation that was.
Slogging through.
We're a mojito-loving threesome, then.
There's a phrase.
Is it necessary to do it in a Swedish accent?
There was push-pull all the way through all this.
She sometimes complains, but I take no notice of her.
So was there too much breathing?
I mean, I don't think you can breathe too much.
A gust of wind beat against my clothes.
We got it.
We got it.
That was awful. We're doing it again.
and now, enjoy the podcast.
How do you say that?
How do you say that?
How do you say that?
How do you say that? Hello, welcome to How Do You Say That, sponsored by BritishVoiceover.co.uk. Here's my co-host, Samantha Boffin.
Hello. And here's my co-host, Mark Rice.
Well, hello. This is the performance podcast for voice actors where we talk to a different voice actor every week, play around with a few scripts.
And discover there isn't just one way to read a script. There are lots of different ways. Okay, Mark, true or false? I have a different Hoover on every floor of my house.
Well, I don't know if you're playing with me
I've got
here.
an enormous house, but
I don't know if you're playing with me because obviously working in shopping television for so long, we don't call them Hoovers unless they are actually a Hoover. They're vacuum cleaners.
Vacuum cleaners.
Do you mean a Hoover or do you mean a vacuum cleaner?
Oh, for goodness sakes, you're so pedantic. A vacuum cleaner.
Okay, I think you probably do have one on every floor of your house, yes.
No, don't be ridiculous. I got one that I hoik up and down the stairs.
All right, my true or false then is I can't bear the smell of chopped mint in salads or new potatoes, just can't bear it.
No, because I think you drink mojitos. And if you didn't like the smell of mint, you wouldn't drink mojitos.
I love the smell of mint. You're absolutely right. Enough of the mojitos, though. Let's welcome our special guest for this week. It's voice actor Johnny Neal. Hello, Johnny.
Hello.
It's
How
lovely
are
to
we
have
all?
you along. Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
I also love mojitos. So.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice,
Good.
absolutely.
We're a mojito-loving threesome then, because we all love them.
Well, there's a phrase. Sam, let's find out a little bit more about Johnny.
Okay, so Johnny is a non-binary voice actor living in Norwich, and they began acting professionally at 7 years old, performing on the West End and in a variety of audio dramas and TV shows.
Well, armed with a degree in musical theatre, a love of video games and animation, and a penchant for impressions, Johnny began transitioning to voice acting in 2015 when they played the lead role of Arbaz Mir in Assassin's Creed Chronicles India. They've since become known for their work in video games, animation, and audiobooks. Welcome along, Johnny. Have you got a fun fact for us?
I have been playing Dungeons & Dragons for 5 years and DMing a campaign for 5 years.
So you didn't come to it as a teen, for instance?
No, I wanted to play it when I was a teenager, but there was. I'm old, guys. I mean,
Not as old as me. I wouldn't worry about it.
Or us, yeah, exactly.
That's very sweet of you, but for the younger generations, there was a time when the internet didn't exist.
Indeed there was,
and
yes.
you couldn't just do a Google or go on Amazon. You know, you had to know where things were or look them up in the yellow pages. And it's hard to look up Dungeons and Dragons in the yellow pages.
Yes.
You know, finding places that sold the materials to help you play was difficult. And then finding people was also very, very difficult. But yeah, during COVID, I convinced my wife that she would enjoy it.
And
we
does she?
joined a Dungeons and Dragons Discord server. She loves it more than me now.
Does
Oh, nice,
she?
nice.
Yeah, we're both in a Discord server for Dungeons and Dragons called the Open Table, and we're both moderators now. But she's like the second in command of it, so technically she's a bigger nerd than I am.
Before we get too nerdy and go too far down this route, let's have a look at the first script of our show and ask, how do you say that? How do you say that?
So this script was for a live performance, really, something that went out live, and the bits of me were played in at the relevant points within that day of doing stuff.
Literally tells me nothing about it. So what
Does
is
it not?
It seems sentimental. It's like it almost organising people.
It's all about how to organise your house.
Ah, that's the thing that I needed. So you're becoming a declutterer with this.
Yes, effectively, I was, well, I wasn't, but, you know, the people that were running the workshop were declutterers, and I was used to bring the pieces of video that they were playing in within this workshop, and we kind of moved through each room of the house.
Is it necessary to do it in a Swedish accent?
I love that question. What a great idea.
No, you don't have to do it in a Swedish accent, but that could bring it alive in a very different way.
I've got a couple of ideas.
I would say you go first, Johnny, but that's not the format, so I have to go
That's
first.
That's fine. I'm
Right.
fine with not going first.
It's conversational because it's just about the rooms in your house.
Yes.
But of course, it is giving you ideas and information on how to declutter it.
Okay. There will, of course, be an abundance of sentimental items in your indoor storage area. Your childhood swimming certificates, years of birthday cards, anniversary cards, wedding cards and condolence cards all bundled up together. Artwork from your children that you just couldn't bear to part with. Diaries and calendars that are decades old. It's the natural place to store them, right? Well, actually, our preference would be that you bring sentimental items into the body of your home so you can see and enjoy them on a regular basis and get that warm, fuzzy feeling inside.
I liked it. Yeah, it was very... It definitely connected. It was nice. It had enough heart that it was personal. It wasn't so sappy, as it were. It wasn't so emotive that it took the message away, if that makes sense.
Yes, and in fact, I suppose for this sort of thing, emotion is not as useful as it could be. For decluttering, emotion is a problem.
Yes, indeed.
Because it gets in the way.
Was thinking that it was being played to a live audience like in a hall, and I hope that they smile a little bit against it's the natural place to store them, right?
Yeah. It was light, I thought, and
light factual.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was light, and it did have a conversational feel to it, and you what's the word? You muddied it up a bit, which was good. You weren't as precise as you can be.
I like that. It muddied it up a bit. Are you going to muddy it, Johnny? That's the question. I don't know.
I will probably muddy it beyond recognition.
Oh, good. Very exciting.
There will, of course, be an abundance of sentimental items in your indoor storage area. Your childhood swimming certificates, years of birthday cards, anniversary cards, wedding cards, and condolence cards, all bundled up together. Artwork from your children that you just couldn't bear to part with. Diaries and calendars that are decades old. It's the natural place to store them. Right? Well, actually, our preference would be that you bring sentimental items into the body of the home so you can see and enjoy them on a regular basis and get that warm, fuzzy feeling inside.
Wow, that was very personality-led.
Yes, it was. I liked it, though.
It had a real nice amount of quirk, actually, in that.
When you got to it's the natural place to store them. Right. It's like you're almost expecting a nod from the crowd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like,
yay,
it's like it's like right, like I'm not the weirdo here, right?
Indeed, absolutely. I mean, I thought again that was quite light, but it was nice. It bounced along actually, which was really lovely.
It was also a really nice pace. Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, I like to. I'm very rarely cast for corporate stuff. As you say, I lead with personality.
Yeah.
And I struggle to turn it off.
And as you always say with corporate stuff, it's worthwhile lifting it off the page because if they wanted someone just to read it straight, that's where AI is.
Yeah, and in fact, I didn't actually think of this as corporate. So that's very interesting. Actually, Johnny, that you did.
It's got a vibe about it but not necessarily corporate. Corporate's probably the closest thing I would say about, like, I would kind of compare it to. Yeah, it was the closest thing kind of in my head because, like you, I kind of Mark, I imagined it almost being played at a TED talk or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, as a part of a presentation video.
I imagine they've booked out a whole hotel. And it's the massive conference room in the hotel full of declutterers. That's in my mind anyway.
The decluttering convention.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm interested to see how you did it, Sam.
Okay. There will, of course, be an abundance of sentimental items in your indoor storage area. Your childhood swimming certificates, years of birthday cards, anniversary cards, wedding cards and condolence cards, all bundled up together. Artwork from your children that you just couldn't bear to part with. Diaries and calendars that are decades old. It's the natural place to store them, right? Well, actually, Our preference would be that you bring sentimental items into the body of the home so you can see and enjoy them on a regular basis and get that warm, fuzzy feeling inside.
I like that. It felt like I was having a coffee.
I know what you mean when you say that, yes.
Yeah. Like it felt very casual, very intimate, because there was like that husky quietness to your voice. It felt very kind of like leaning over a small table in Costa and, chatting.
My favourite place. I thought it was interesting because the first paragraph and the second paragraph differed there for me because you were being very pally with the people, then you almost told them off. You not telling them off so much as gave them some direction.
There was push-pull all the way through all this because what you're doing is you're setting the scene that everybody can relate to, and then you're giving them the solution or how you can fix it, if you like. So the whole thing was push-pull all the way through in that sense.
Play How Do You Say That?
Well, it's worthwhile remembering these are real scripts we're working on. We have changed names and some details to avoid copyright issues. Remember, you can find both of the scripts that we've got today in the show notes of the episode.
Yes, you can indeed. Johnny, tell us a bit about the script you brought for us.
So, the script that I've brought is from a book that I narrated not too long ago, actually. It is a fantasy romantic epic. And in the scene, one of the protagonists is kind of confronting the start of a large-scale battle.
And what kind of character is he?
He's quite stoic, uptight almost, you might say. Prince of the land. Very posh, very I wouldn't say clean cut.
Yep.
I wouldn't say he was clean cut, but he's clipped.
Okay, what kind of age?
It's somewhere between 20 and 30.
Oh, so young, because I read that as old.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult with elves because they're pretty immortal, so they kind of get to an age and they just stop.
No, I was wondering whether it was an aged-up read. That's all I was thinking.
Oh, okay. I mean, it certainly can be. Essentially, like, the crux of the whole thing is that he has fallen in love with the son of the enemy. They are currently stood on the battlements facing the father of his lover.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
It seems like a piece of two halves, this.
Very much so, yes. I mean, you use the word push and pull. There's push and pull in this with, the kind of the dread of this like enemy that seems to be approaching, and then the warmth and the softness of this like love story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's give it a go. Okay. A gust of wind beat against my clothes and lifted my hair. The storm clouds overhead were a dark column of wrath and spite, harbingers for the destruction of Balastt and the death of my family. I watched from afar as an earthbound comet of black magic broke through our outermost wall to let the Neln army pour into our castle. The true battle had begun. Warm, gentle fingers touched my hand and slowly interlocked with mine. The small gesture was all that kept me grounded as David and I stood side by side in silence.
Nice.
That was lovely. That was really lovely. I really liked it.
Oh, thank you.
If I was going to give any criticism,
yes,
I would just say to like maybe watch your breathing a little bit, but it's a cold read, so.
So was there too much breathing?
I don't think you can breathe too much.
Did I put odd breaths within the sentences? Is that what you're saying in terms of watch the breathing?
The reason that you pre-read sentences in audiobooks is partly so you know what the hell you're about to say, but also because then you can plan your breathing.
Okay.
You can read through it and you can go, okay, there is no comma, but I can find a place where a comma could be. Yep. And I can like insert a breath in there rather than getting to a point, running out of breath and then being like, and then it might it might create a disjointed tempo. Right. You didn't do too much.
No, I
if
didn't
I'm really
notice
honest.
that. To be honest with you, but I quite see the point that you're making.
Yeah. It's like I say, it was reaching for something to criticize, okay. But like it wasn't It wasn't something where I'd be like, that was awful, we're doing it again.
Do you use that? Do you use that tone when you do that? That was
Oh,
awful.
absolutely.
Again.
And if it's really bad, I have to break out like the dragon voices.
I followed the story beautifully. I wasn't entirely sure, and I think I would have been in a longer extract who the character I was listening to was.
Yes, that's fair enough.
But again, I think when you just take a short extract of something, it sometimes is quite difficult, that.
100%. Unless you've got like a very clear understanding of who the character is outside of that. Would you rather a reference point or would you rather strict directions?
Probably a reference point.
A reference point. Give me young King Charles.
Interesting.
Wow.
All right. No, interesting. Yeah. A gust of wind beat against my clothes and lifted my hair.
A little younger, sorry. Like, so less gravel in the voice and a little more clear.
Okay. A gust of wind beat against my clothes and lifted my hair. The storm clouds overhead were a dark column of wrath and spite, harbingers for the destruction of Balastt and the death of my family. I watched from afar as an earthbound comet of black magic broke through our outermost wall to let the Neln army pour into our castle. The true battle had begun. Warm, gentle fingers touched my hand and slowly interlocked with mine. The small gesture was all that kept me grounded, as David and I stood side by side in silence.
Nice. I would say lower the resonance from your nose into your throat and chest a little bit more to give a little bit more resonance and depth. And I'd say you could slow it down.
Yes,
like,
that's all. I can always slow everything down, Johnny. That's the one critique that I always get. Yes, absolutely.
One of the big things with audiobooks is like you have to pace yourself because it can be really tempting, especially when you're on a flow, to be like blah, 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 blah.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting one because a lot of listeners always do say, "Oh, I listen to it on 1.5 times or 1.25 because they go too slowly."
Yeah.
But then you do go faster and they miss things. It gives them a nice pace, and it's also a more relaxing sound. When you listen to someone talking very, very quickly, you can't listen to them for 4, 5, 6, 30 hours sometimes.
Yes, of course.
You know, so it's got to be almost like a meditative kind of
good point.
thing.
I find narrative characters quite difficult to listen to over a long period of time.
Yes.
I think. That's not to say I never listen to them or anything like that, but when there is so clearly a character in the narrative part of the book, I find that quite exhausting.
So you would have preferred me to do it as me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone can cope with character voices within the dialogue, but I do find it exhausting to listen because you listen to an audiobook for such a long time that a character voice that I don't know, that is obviously not somebody's own voice. Of course, I mean, there are very skilled narrators out there that absolutely embody that character and will be able to do that for 10, 20, 30 hours.
Johnny, let's hear how you did it, shall we? Because I'm not sure I quite get how you did it, so I'm fascinated.
No problem. Okie dokie. A gust of wind beat against my clothes and lifted my hair. The storm clouds overhead were a dark column of wrath and spite, harbingers for the destruction of Balastt and the death of my family. I watched from afar as an earthbound comet of black magic broke through our outermost wall to let the Neln army pour into our castle. The true battle had begun. Warm, gentle fingers touched my hand and slowly interlocked with mine. The small gesture was all that kept me grounded as David and I stood side by side in silence.
I love that. I like the deeper and the mic proximity there, Sam, as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the menace in the first bit as well. There was a real sense of that battle unfolding. It was really interesting. I really did get a sense of you standing outside looking in from afar. So that was really interesting. I really did get that feeling.
That's a lovely thing to say.
I found I enjoyed the resonance of it because you took it deeper into your range, and I think that worked very well. And from what we were just talking about, I think that would enable me to listen for much longer.
Well, that's what I think about when I'm crafting it, because, you know, you've got your different schools of crafting characters, etc., but you have to consider medium as well. I always find,
yes,
you know, if I'm crafting an animation character, let's say, is that for like a Nickelodeon cartoon, or is that going to be for a more adult cartoon, let's say, because they're going to be two very different vibes.
Very different, yes.
You know, you have to consider that fact that, yeah, people are going to have to listen to you talking in this voice for a very long time, especially if it's first person.
Yep.
So it can't be, you know, it can't be
a gust of wind beat against my clothes.
You know, it can't be that.
Oh,
for
I
hours
would
on
love
end.
that. Yeah, no, it's fascinating.
How interesting. And of course, it may not be the same in the wildcard part of the show, you two. Time to approach
certainly
these
not.
scripts in a very different way if we can.
Yes, Johnny, could you pick one of the scripts and give one of us something different to do with it?
Okay, I'm going to pick my script, and I would like it to be done in the form of a... I'd like it to be done in the form of a children's book. Oh, I'm going to give Mark another crack at it.
I kind of thought that might be me. I kind of thought it might be.
You can have a similar kind of speed and tempo, but you can make it more like you can make that more allegro. You can make it, you know, bouncier. You could make it staccato, and for children's books, I tend to find like bouncier is the vibe.
Okay, bouncy. All right. Well, bouncier is a good bit of direction. Let's try. That's all I can do. A gust of wind beat against my clothes and lifted my hair. The storm clouds overhead were a dark column of wrath and spite, harbingers for the destruction of Balastt and the death of my family. I watched from afar as an earthbound comet of black magic broke through our outermost wall to let the Neln army pour into our castle. The true battle had begun. Warm, gentle fingers touched my hand and slowly interlocked with mine. The small gesture was all that kept me grounded as David and I stood side by side in silence.
Okay.
Sounded
Johnny.
insane, but...
How to entirely change the meaning of something.
Right.
Yeah.
It was the point I was praying for you to go up on family, just so it would be something like harbingers for the destruction of Balastt and the death of my family.
Hooray!
I think I went up on death instead. Yes.
You did go up on death, yeah, but you went down on family, so which gave it that slightly more somber tone, which was good.
It's really interesting to do a read that is the opposite of what the words are on the page.
Yeah. The only thing I would say again is you had a really nice tempo at the beginning, and then like towards the end of each of those paragraphs, you sped it up.
Okay, so Johnny, I would like you to do the first script because you're not as familiar with it. And I would like you to do it as an over-enthusiastic tour guide.
Okay, I like that. Okay. Over-enthusiastic tour guide.
Yeah.
There will, of course, be an abundance of sentimental items in your indoor storage area. Your childhood swimming certificates, years of birthday cards, anniversary cards, wedding cards and condolence cards are all bundled up together. Artwork from your children that you just couldn't bear to part with. Diaries and calendars that are decades old. It's the natural place to store them. Right? Well, actually, our preference would be that you bring sentimental items into the body of the home so you can see and enjoy them on a regular basis and get that warm, fuzzy feeling inside. I hated that. I hated
now,
that
come
so
along.
much.
Did you?
And yet I could see it. I could see you leading that group. Yes.
I was trying, when I have things like this, I try and kind of like, I revert to my improv training.
Yes,
and try and kind of picture a scene in my head and like, constantly trying to get the attention of people. Oh, That's like my nightmare, is trying to do a walking tour.
Oh, is it? Oh my God.
I would hate to lead a walking tour. I would be so impatient with people.
All right, Sam, I've got one for you. How about you're on the quayside and you are emotionally saying goodbye to somebody that is going on a ship on a long voyage and you're not going to see them. You're not going to hear from them. And I think maybe, probably script 2.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Think about that. Okay, right. Okay. A gust of wind beat against my clothes and lifted my hair. The storm clouds overhead were a dark column of wrath and spite. Harbingers for the destruction of Balastt and the death of my family. So I watched from afar as an earthbound comet of black magic broke through our outermost wall. Let the Neln army pour into the castle. The true battle had begun. Oh, warm, gentle fingers touched my hand, slowly interlocked with mine. Oh, small gesture kept me grounded. David and I stood side by side. In silence!
They're going further and further away on the ship and you're just about getting to them.
Please hear me.
Please hear me.
There was a lot of Britishism in it.
Britishism.
Yeah, well,
I
yes,
love it.
That is quite me. But most of it was on the quayside.
Yes.
And then they went off. And But yeah, I don't know.
And of course, the reason that we do the wildcard, it's worthwhile just saying it every so often, because after you've done something in a massively different style, you can go back to the style that you are being asked to do it in, and it suddenly kind of feels less daunting.
Yeah, and in many ways, it doesn't even matter if you nail or not the idea of what you're doing, she says quickly, because she didn't. Because all it does is it gives you a different way of saying it. I think that can be really useful.
Absolutely. And sometimes an idea of where the pauses are differently.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to play along in the privacy of your own booth, as we've said before, we've put the scripts in the show notes. You can have a try yourself.
So, Johnny.
Yes.
Monster and creature sounds, you do these, I think. So this is a really specific area, but you approach it in quite a unique way. So can you tell us a bit about that?
Unique, I wouldn't claim unique. I would never claim unique. And there's another guy, Sebastian Cotto, in Canada, who he's far more well-versed in this area than I am. And he also comes at it from a very kind of like biological standpoint, thinking about the biology and the science of our voices. There's a couple of reasons I do this. One of them is that when I started learning to sing, I learned the Estelle technique, which is all about this is your voice, this is the biology, this does that. And that way you can learn what your voice is doing while you're performing actions to make it do the things, rather than just being like, if I drop my jaw lower, I can go higher. The other reason is safety, because it's very easy to kind of just jump in and be like, yeah, I can do a roar. And you can hurt your voice really easily.
So the danger of damaging your voice if you do that. Yeah.
100%. Well, like monster noises and extreme voicing, as Sebastian calls it, they're a form of like stunt performance.
Yes.
Yep.
There's inherent danger in it. You know, no matter how many safety precautions you take, there is inherent danger to the instrument you're using, in this case your voice. So you've got to take as many precautions as possible. So I come at it from a biological standpoint so that I can not only help protect myself, but better understand what my voice is doing.
Can you break down what you mean by biologically and how you come to it? What are you doing, in fact?
Literally just like learning the different biological aspects of the voice, the names for the different cartilages, the different folds that you use, the various muscles, the various ways in which manipulating certain parts of the biology can change the sound. So for instance, just as an example, I make a tone, ah, and then I engage my ventricular folds, ah, and it instantly makes it gravelly. And then I can raise my tongue and lower my soft palate, and I get a lot more resonance, a lot more of a depth within the sound, even though I'm keeping the same note and tone. So knowing the way that those like different biological structures, those different tools affect the voice, means that we can then mix and match them in different ways in order to create different sounds.
Wow, and you're also protecting your voice because you're not overusing one particular part of it.
That, and also using the right parts of it. Because,
yes.
you know, people ask anyone to do like a heavy metal scream, for instance, and the first thing they'll do is go like, "Ah!" You know,
No, scary.
That's not a metal scream. That's just someone shouting. Whereas in order to do a proper metal scream, you have to engage what's called the ventricular folds, your false folds, because they're much bigger, much clunkier, and the distortion that you're trying to create, they can take the brunt of that. Because they're bigger, they're able to kind of like take that impact. Whereas if we try and create that with our true folds, we're going to hurt our voice. We're going to create nodules. We're not going to be able to sing. We're not going to be able to do voice work anymore.
It sounds like it's a tricky thing to teach.
So I will say to someone, okay, so we're going to learn to engage our ventricular folds. What does that mean? How do I do that? Okay, cool. Sigh for me. Good.
Okay.
And now let it go a little bit more. Really relax into it and just go, There you go. And you can hear that slight little distortion right at the end where the ventricular folds start to kick in. Now lean into that a little bit more for me. So, even more of a grunt. Really let it go. Like it's been a crap day. Okay, so we're going into a fry there, which is slightly different. So I want you to just drop your jaw a little bit and really relax when you sigh. So try like not thinking about tone or anything like that. We're just dropping everything and we're just letting the breath out. It's just the biggest relief in the world to let that breath out. Just there we go. So you can feel right at the end there was a slight bit of ventricular fold. And then we kind of lean into that. We lean on that a little bit. But by understanding that that is the ventricular folds, we then know what we're looking for in terms of feeling, sound, and also the thing that we're applying.
It's a fascinating area, but it's a very deep area. If people want to do a little bit more research about it, where can they go, Johnny?
So I would say you can start researching it yourself by just learning a bit more about the voice, a bit more about it. You can look up the Estelle technique. If you want voice lessons, head to eloquentbard.co.uk.
Fantastic.
I love plug. I like it. I like a plug, yeah.
Any good singing teacher is going to know this stuff as well.
Okay.
So depending on what aspect it is that you're interested in. So if you're more interested in the biological aspect, okay, grab a book. If you're interested in how to apply it to like metal screaming or singing, a good singing teacher will be able to teach you how to do that. If you want to learn how to do monster noises or you want to learn how to like apply it to like voice acting characters, give me a call.
Johnny, it's fascinating. Thank you so much. A big thank you to Johnny Neal. A reminder that all of their details can be found in the show notes.
And of course, the scripts are there too. And if you want to see what we all look like in our booths, do check out the podcast by searching at HDYST Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. And you can see us in action.
You can indeed. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks again to Johnny Neal. We'll be back next week with more scripts and another voiceover guest when we'll be asking...
How
do you say that?
How do you say that?